it one. And actually, I got a good story for you guys. Do you guys know who Onision is?
Yes.
Yes.
We don't know him, but I know his stuff.
Yeah,
I know his stuff. You know how he's so.
He's accused of being a big time creep for a lot of things.
Yeah, this story ends with Chris Hansen sending me a picture of his Emmy. Chris Hansen from the To Catch a Predator show.
He's been on the show.
Yeah, he sent me on Twitter. I was rubbing my Predator interview in his face, and he got off of his couch and he put his Emmy on his coffee table, and he sent that as a picture to prove me wrong.
What an asshole!
Yeah, to show that's
what a fucking bitch.
You just send a picture of your balls back, just like holding them.
I don't see that as an asshole move. I mean, Dick started it. He's allowed.
I set him up for it.
Yeah.
So Chris Hansen has been after Onision for months. Like Chris Hansen is now no longer on the news, and he's trying to be like a YouTube guy.
Right.
He would probably come on your show. Actually,
he's been on the show.
Yeah, he was on a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a long time ago when he was just starting his True TV contract.
Okay. Well, now he's like an e-girl online. He's trying to get money like interviewing freaks, but like he doesn't quite understand how.
Oh, I love it here.
So he's been chasing Onision around, who is you guys know of him. I don't know anything about him. All I know is he's accused of kind of grooming some girl at his house or something like that. I don't know. That's the cops' problem. That's not my problem. I'm breaking laws myself over here, so who am I to judge what he's
not
doing?
me.
Yeah, exactly.
Certainly not
Kyle. So Chris Hansen tries to set up an interview with Onision. And because Onision wants to do it live and Chris Hansen has to pre-record it because he's a bitch, Chris Hansen says, no, I'm only going to do this pre-recorded. We're going to do it my way. We're not doing it live. I'm Chris Hansen. I'm the big deal. He's been on his front steps and all this shit. So I, in my dicking around in my infinite wisdom, tweet at Onision saying, hey man, why don't you come on my show? I'll interview you. I believe you. I'm here. I'm ready to believe you. I'm not like these other clowns.
Like the Ghostbusters line, we're ready to believe you.
I support everything. I don't care how poorly you're treating women. I've done worse. Come on my show and I'll tell you, and we'll be pals.
Swap
right?
stories.
So I think, he's a big deal. He's got like 5 million subscribers. That's just a joke. He's not going to say anything. So I say, hey, it's Monday, 2 p.m. I got nothing to do. I'm going to pop a tab of acid back. I'm going to play some piano until the keys start running together, until it starts throbbing, and I start stretching out until I start getting the.
You said this was 3 beers. What kind of beer do you drink?
Wait, you don't feel that way after 3 beers?
It's not called Everbeer.
Milk.
I drink IPAs, bitch. What do you mean you don't hallucinate after? There is a little bit. Okay, the hallucination is a little bit, and it kicks in. It does kick in at about the hour mark and kind of goes in waves. But it's nice. It's not like you're watching. It's not like you're watching these nightmares come to life. It's just kind of like things are kind of wiggling around, like
breathing at you.
Yeah, exactly like that. It's same thing as mushrooms. Like if you stare at stucco, it'll kind of undulate and move around.
Yeah.
And things will get like kind of a neon outline around. It's nothing that will freak you out. So I pop a tab of acid, sit back, pour myself a drink, and a friend of mine, Peach Saliva, goes, "Oh my God, you're talking to Onision tonight?" And I text back, "What are you talking about?" And apparently Ralph from the Kill Stream had retweeted it, and it got a lot of attention. My initial overture to Onision. And it got enough attention so that he agreed to do the interview. He said, yeah, I'll do the interview tonight on the Ralph Retort with Ralph and Dick Masterson. And I said, oh, fuck, Peach. I just did a shitload. I just did a bunch of acid, like just now. And she goes, oh, oops. I just called Chris Hansen a bitch. I'm not going to bitch out myself, especially over drugs. Like if you say that the drugs, if you stop doing something because of drugs, you are an addict. That is the definition of an addict. If you are able to live your life as normal while still doing all the drugs and liquor that you can, you are not an addict. You're fine. You can do whatever you want. But the second you start changing your life, you're an addict. So I say, fuck. So I come into the other room and I say, honey, my girlfriend's there because she's working from home. I say, honey, that guy Onision agreed to the interview. What should I do? And she goes, you got to throw that up. So I said, yeah, all right. I got to throw it up. I never thrown anything up on purpose before. Like usually I'm trying to do the opposite. After drinking heavily, I'm trying to desperately keep it down. So I run downstairs and I just start doing what I see in movies, like touching something. So I'm trying to find some kind of
That'll
magical
work. It'll tickle your uvula. That'll make you vomit.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But apparently, like I've got
describing
half
this is
of my
making me gag a
fist.
little.
I'm sorry. I'll try to speed through the throwing up part. I've got half of my fucking fist down my throat. Like I'm feeling shit in there that I probably shouldn't be touching.
You
realizing
could
that
suck
if
a good dick.
Exactly. Realizing that if I was in prison, I would probably be a hot commodity.
Damn, I'd be terrible at sucking cock with how easy it is to.
I wasn't going to complain.
I'm feeling nothing. And I'm down there doing it. So I'm like, honey, you need to go. Can you please go to the store and get me some Ipecac? Because I remember.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I remember on Family Guy, they had like an Ipecac joke where they all drank it and then threw up immediately. She's like, well, I mean, are you sure? Like, if I drive to the store and drive back, you're probably going to be fucked anyway. Just fucking do it. Just go to the store and do it for me, please. So I'm chugging salt water because this is something else I heard. Salt water and milk. All the
salt
almond
water
milk
is the thing, yeah.
Man, you're really diving deep into weird Twitter posts you've seen for advice.
I'm desperate because I can't throw up. So she
This will either make me vomit or send me into renal failure.
She calls me from the store and she goes, "Hey, I don't know what that stuff was, but the guy at the pharmacy says they haven't made that in 25 years." I said, "All right, well, I don't know. Then just come home." So she comes home and I'm laughing, hysterically because I'm locked in for another 12 hours.
How long did you have to vomit it? I don't know how acid works, like how fast it distributes through your system. Like,
I don't know.
Well, apparently too fast.
No, wait. To take acid, is it like a postage stamp you sort of eat?
It's a tab.
Yeah. You can get it in an eyedropper form, but it's like a tiny little stamp. So I know what you're thinking. Logistically, trying to throw up a tiny little stamp is retarded.
Like I couldn't throw up a Listerine strip. That's like something I have experience with.
Oh, you have?
I can't. No, like it wouldn't work, right? Like it would just be all over me or something.
Yeah.
Right?
I was just running on desperation.
Okay.
So the interview starts, and I don't know if you've ever listened to this Onision guy, but like he's super progressive, and he doesn't use like his wife. He starts telling the story about I think his wife is like trans and had a sex change, so he's referring to his wife as he. And this is right when the acid hits, and he's like talking about this weird polyamorous relationship with a 17-year-old that moved in with them. And I'm trying really hard to listen and make sense of it, but I swear to God, it doesn't make any sense.
It's just not clicking with you at all.
No, he's talking like he starts talking in the middle of sentences, and he's like, "Yeah, well, she said. I mean, there wasn't anything there." And he talks like Destiny, like where it's just really fast and rapid. And I start thinking like, am I even talking to a man? Like, am I in the wrong? Did I call into the wrong show? And I bring up Notepad and I'm typing to my girlfriend who's sitting there. I'm like, am I crazy? Like, does this guy make any sense to you? And she looks at me, she furrows her brow and looks at me and then just goes like, no. And I was like, oh, thank fucking God. So I think I managed to figure out that he was molested as a child. I asked him point blank. I'm like, wait a minute, wait. Were you molested as a kid or something? Like this is, and it's just dead silence over these questions. Like, no, what are you talking about? Like, no, man, I think the acid's telling me that you were molested as a kid.
Did you say that, or were you still hiding the fact that the acid was?
I was still hiding it because right before we started, I said, "Hey, Ralph, I got to tell you this story when we're done. Like, let me tell you this story when we're done." So it's a real bizarre interview. I think I held it together pretty well, but I had a bathrobe tied around my waist like a diaper. I was soaked in sweat in the studio down here, wearing nothing else but a bathrobe. But after the interview,
just like Chris Hansen.
Yeah, just like Chris Hansen. So after the interview, I was like, oh yeah, by the way, this was all done on acid. And I go tweet at Chris Hansen like, hey, but here's how you do your fucking job, Chris Hansen, from a real pro and a rocket scientist on LSD. Give it a listen. And Chris Hansen sends me back a picture of his Emmy. in response. Well,
I do
all
like the
right, man,
ending.
but you didn't get the fucking interview.
Yeah,
Like,
he
that
did,
was
he
that was
Yeah.
the Predator.
Emmy,
That
but he
was
doesn't
the
have the gets.
that if there was any
bitch.
Predator for you to stand up to, it was the guy who's got a forum of teenage girls, not chumps that you trick into showing up with your squadron of cops on standby, you pussy.
Well, let's not pretend that To Catch a Predator wasn't hilarious.
Yes,
Because you could tell as like Chris Hansen took himself way too seriously with that. Like he would walk in and put on an affected reporter voice where he'd be like, "Have a seat right over there.
right over
That
there.
was my issue.
Would you like a cookie? Would you like a cookie there?"
My-
Now the problem with this
Yeah, are they
is that
good?
you came here to rape a young boy. Would you deny that? I notice you have that 4-pack of Seabreeze in your hand and then a bottle of vodka. Is that okay? Like he was totally faking.
When he was on this show, that was kind of my issue with him. Like I was interested in Chris Hansen, the stories of the ups and downs, the careers, like the man. Who we got was what I'll refer to as Chris Hansen's representative, right? He didn't
We got
crap.
NBC correspondent Chris Hansen.
Yeah. You know, we got the character from the show who didn't break, who didn't talk about the rest of his life, what it's like to be famous. He didn't talk about anything.
He didn't talk about weird little stories that happened tangentially to the running into the pedophiles. Like he didn't tell funny things. It was like, dude, you realize you're trying to sell a show, and to be frank, this show you're on right now is a lot bigger than you're ever going to be on the internet. So why don't you try and sell it, bitch? Like, no, it was, I'm a Mr. Upright. I'm Mr. Tight and clean. No.
It sounds like his personal life is pretty fucked up, though. Like
It is.
Reading what people say, he's got a bunch of like weird debts and problems with his ex-wives or something like this. Have you guys
sent
heard
us. So we had this issue. I could be wrong about this.
Oh, I got the cup still. Yeah.
I want to say he had to cancel on us, and we had built it up like, hey, Chris Hansen next week, and that taught us a lesson. Like we never like do that now, or at least I don't. I think that's pretty true. We try not
pretty
to
much avoid that.
If somebody's coming next week, we don't say anything because we never know when we've known Anthony was going to be on tonight for about a month. We didn't say anything because maybe something happens and Anthony doesn't come and everybody's let down. But Chris was going to come on and he couldn't make it. What's that look, Taylor? What happened?
I was joking because I said on stream like days ago.
Oh,
because people were like, "Is Anthony coming on?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh, you're a real piece of shit. So
people were already asking. It got out somehow.
So he had to cancel on us, I think, and to make it up to us, I thought it was pretty cool. He sent us these personalized coffee cups with his face on them, and it says something like PKA, have a seat right there. And we were all like, we were kind of miffed at you, but this $8 cup really does solve everything.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah,
Honestly, it did. It was,
I had a real problem with my relationship with Chris Hansen until the coffee mug, at which point it was all forgiven.
Turned out he ordered like 5,000 of those or something and never paid the person who made them.
Oh, I bet Taylor's getting his.
Our cups are technically evidence.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, he never paid the guy.
Everybody?
Yeah, he stiffs people, I guess. And he's also had a few people kill themselves because of his show.
Yeah.
Now you can debate that all you want.
It might be one. Is it a few?
It's at least two that I know.
Okay.
One was like a local politician. I'm going to say he was 45. And another was like a very young guy. Like he was like 18 to 22, somewhere in that general range.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I think he came in wearing a cowboy hat or something like that. And Chris was like, well, why don't you watch someone your own age? He's like, I'm ugly and I'm a nerd.
I think it's a kind of common thing when someone gets caught for pedophilia to consider suicide as a way out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like a lot of it, because there's not much coming back from that.
You literally have to change your name and move to Alaska.
Is it the worst social sin?
It's the worst.
Is it worse than murder?
It's worse than rape. It's worse